Outside Columbia Planned Parenthood, where medication abortions are now available for the first time in Missouri since 2018. The Osage County clerk tells me that only a couple people have voted since the polls opened at 6 a.m. this morning. Now, both roads are closed due to major flooding. And you can see right behind me here that Driscoll Road is closed due to major flooding. Today's decision means another hurdle cleared for the state's new congressional map. Healthcare officials presented a financial report to the committee this afternoon. Now, the healthcare system is eliminating 150 positions, and 74 of them are layoffs. Eldon, where the city just wrapped up handing out water cases to residents. In Mizzou's Lot M by the Mizzou softball field, and this parking lot actually might not be here for much longer. Less than 2 hours after Wenwood Bay Winery was filled with laughter and camaraderie, it caught fire at about 1 a.m. Chief Brian Schaefer said firefighters spend months preparing for emergencies, like the ones they faced over the past 24 hours. In a small town in Missouri, one family says a new state law could destroy the hemp business they spent years building. For the Grady family in Hermann, Missouri, that business started with a medical crisis.
We started this business because of our son had brain tumors, and we saw that the medicine that he was having was the first time with hemp or cannabis that we saw shrinkage in his tumors. So that started our path into the cannabis industry.
Starting this fall, THC seltzers, edibles, and other intoxicating hemp products will no longer be sold in grocery stores, bars, smoke shops, or many other retail outlets across Missouri. Instead, sales will be limited to only licensed marijuana dispensaries.
But as a farmer, you don't want to plant just to destroy. That's why we didn't grow floral hemp this year.
Supporters of the law say the changes are needed to protect children from easily obtaining the products. They say it also prevents Missouri from having to revise state rules to mirror the new federal definition of hemp that is scheduled to take effect later this fall. That law defines hemp as cannabis if containing 0.3% or more of THC. Opponents of the law say it could eliminate a large portion of Missouri's hemp market, hurt hemp retailers, and give licensed marijuana dispensaries a major advantage. Kara Grady says customers were already worried about what will happen next.
People are like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And some of them are already stockpiling their stuff just to get prepared unless something changes.
The Gradys are now trying to pivot.
We're going to plant grain hemp this time.
They hope growing grain hemp keeps their farm afloat. It's used for oil, animal feed, and the hulled seed for food products. But the move could be costly. It genuinely earns far less per acre than flower hemp.
It's our protest harvest. We're growing grain hemp in hopes that we can keep this harvest in the state of Missouri and they don't raid us because we grew some chicken feed.
The new restrictions officially take effect on November 12th. Reporting from Hermann, Sophia Ortiz, KMU8 News. That's the sound of years of old paint being removed from Ivy Terrace, a historic building in Jefferson City. Deb Sikowski and her sister bought the property from the city at auction in 2020. They've poured years of work into restoring the 130-year-old Queen Anne Victorian.
It was in really bad shape, but the first floor is going to be a small event center, and my sister Wendy will be moving her bridal shop, Anna Marie's Bridal, onto the second floor.
The sisters hope the restoration will spark more investment along the historic street.
It used to be the jewel of Capitol Avenue, and we're trying to bring her back to that status.
Many properties like Ivy Terrace end up in city hands through tax liens due to code violations.
Okay, so tax liens are liens that are put on a property after the city has to step in and take action due to non-compliance from the owner.
I'm here on East Capitol Ave where I see some of the common code violations, such as overgrown weeds right over here, and I see windows broken and other code violations such as roofs caving in, which can be a danger to the community. When the property owner doesn't correct the violations, the city has to do it. Last year, the total cost was over $200,000.
And so that's money that the city has spent to upkeep properties and just trying to get that money back.
That's when the city takes control of the property and puts it up for auction. Or donate it.
Sometimes they'll donate it to a non-for-profit like Habitat for Humanity if the city will waive their lien.
It's great for the city, it's great for neighborhood stabilization, it's great for families who can't afford housing for us to be able to provide yet another house.
So while code violations can result in the end of ownership for some, it can mean new ownership for others.
because it has become my entire life.
On the corner of 10th and Cherry sits an old white building with a story to tell. The Niedermeyer is nearly 2 centuries old, and inside, Linda Lieber is writing its next chapter.
The owner of, along with my son, from Magnolia's Whiskey and Wine Bistro and Bar.
Linda and Tyler opened the wine bar in the building's first floor earlier this year,
Come in here, have a drink, tell a story, be part of the family.
hoping to honor its history while turning a new page.
That's what Magnolia's really is about, is bringing back that camaraderie back in the day. People hang out on a porch, have conversation.
The building has had lots of characters.
In 1837, General Gentry and his wife Anne Hawkins Gentry built a home to homeschool their 5 daughters. This eventually turned into a boarding school for girls. It became so popular as a first female Christian academy. This is where Stevens College actually was birthed.
I was given this journal that shares information of people who have stayed here at the Niedermeyer from 1837 to 1951, such as influential people such as Mark Twain and former President Abraham Lincoln. Lieber is part of a movement to keep Columbia's stories alive. Groups like Homer Preservation have worked for years to protect historic landmarks like the Niedermeyer and other old buildings in the city.
We are wanting to promote and celebrate the historic properties. I feel like we could be a voice for them.
And for Como Preservation, the Niedermeyer is a shining example of how business owners can keep the past present.
The Niedermeyer is a perfect example. And here it sits surrounded by these new constructions and a garage, but it's part of our history in Columbia, and it really helps us see kind of where has Columbia been.
Linda says the people who stop in appreciate its charm.
And I love the fact they come in and say they're so thankful, and they love the fact that we actually are keeping it back to where it would have been in 1837.
Honoring its past in its latest edition. Sophia Ortiz, KMU 8 News, Columbia.